Well, it looks like we're live. Let me move this up to get out of the way of the light. Man, this stupid thing. That should help. Get the glare off. Well, I got some really good news today. We're going to be able to paint this weekend. So, what I need to do is get this ready to go. In order to do that, I got to take the motor out and the tank. This is going to be a real quick show because I know you guys are tired of watching this airplane. It's been about a year in the making. It all was built here in this little apartment. I got a whole bunch of them here that I built in this apartment. I don't have anything to do, so I just stand and build model airplanes. But this one's probably going to be the best one out of this shop. We hope. All I got to do is get through this and not bugger anything up. So if you got any questions, now would be an excellent time to ask. We'll go back to work on the other project after Saturday. Saturday it should get the white on it. And then I'll spend a week taping. And then the following Saturday it'll be a 2-minute paint job putting the color on it. I'm going to give a rendition on how much paint I use so you guys get an idea of how little paint is actually on these airplanes. Remember, this airplane was... There's no paint on this yet. This is clear tinted. Come on. Oh, I thought that I would let everybody know for the Christmas giveaway this year, I'm going to give away a SV11 ARF by Brodak. And I'm going to put that thread on Stunt Hangar probably this weekend. And there's no cost to enter or anything like that. But if you put your name on that thread more than once, you'll be disqualified. Because I don't want to have to go down through and check everybody. And I'm hoping to get at least 100 people on. You know, I'd love to give 100 airplanes away, but I don't have that kind of money. So someday I'm going to get to go back home and work in my own shop. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And when you hit that subscribe button, you got to hit it twice. You got to hit the bell for notifications to be notified when I'm coming live. We got good audio out there. There's been no comments. Someday the slow boat from China will get here, and I'll get my other Cosmonaut tank. I got the big one in this now, so that's I'd say it's about, I don't know, 3/4 of an ounce heavier, maybe a 1/2 ounce heavier. So I'll end up taking a 1/2 ounce there, and it kind of all depends on how it balances, how much paint I end up putting on it. But I need to stay way under 60 ounces in order to have a good flying airplane. Great audio, great. Yeah, this is the boom mic, the overhead mic. Not the stupid. You know, I listened to some of them videos I did with the audio from the webcam, and it was terrible. So I'm running it through my mixing board and a boom mic. I'm going to have to tape the windshield. There we go. I'll put this stuff all back together so I don't lose it. I seem to have a bad habit of losing stuff. Can't remember nothing anymore. Hey, Craig. All right, so I'm going to put the muffler back on it so I don't lose that. This is that High-Zoot Brian Gardner Super Tiger 60. I got one more liner to put in another one, and some new bearings to freshen up another Super Tiger. I didn't degree this out, but I'm hoping that Brian kept the port timing exactly the same as a stock 60. Okay, I got this done. The other project still sits in limbo. I haven't sanded this part out yet, or skinned it. You know, if I keep building these airplanes so fast, I won't have any room here. So, much as I'd love to, I think when I go back home, I'm going to take a couple of these airplanes and leave them in St. Louis. This is the carbon fiber tank. This weighs 1.5 ounces. It's a high-zoot clunk tank. Made up my fill tube already. Okay, so that's that part. I'm gonna start taping off the cockpit area. Put this back together. You know, I've been asked, uh-oh, we got something here. Let's see what the question is. Make sure to like, subscribe, share. Super chats help. Haven't had any super chats in a long time. I know money's tight, especially Christmas time. Every third week I drive 1,500 miles round trip to Louisiana. I used to listen to your videos while traveling. Great. I'll be able to hear you with this audio. That's cool. I don't know. I'm probably not the most interesting character to listen to. Or even watch this. You know, I realize this stuff is boring. At least it'd be boring for me. All right. I got a feeling this is going to be one of my better pieces. I won't say that it's 20 points because 20 points is damn near impossible to get. But it'll be 19 when it's finished. You know, usually by the time you get to the gnats, you got it pretty well scarfed up. So what I need to do here I think we're going to forego some of the things I normally do. Normally it gets urethane on the nose and inside the cowl, but I think I'll let that pass on this one. Of course, it could be an error for longevity, but it'll be all right for weight. Well, this thing feels super heavy, but I know it's not. It's just I've been playing with it for so long. Let's see how much it weighs. Let me turn this light on. There we go. Yeah. I am thoroughly happy that I'm going to be able to paint this weekend. Probably have to do one coat and then sand it a little bit, and then shoot another coat. So what I need to do now is we'll do the first wipe down. It gets 3 wipe downs, so I'll do one here. I just want to improve my knowledge and skills. Listening to this has been, yes it is. You know, like I've said in the past, when I started doing this, nobody would tell you anything. And the guys that really helped me improve was Bill Noyes and Tom Warden. And those guys were true craftsmen. And then later on in life, making friends with guys like Jim Lynch and Charlie Reeves. Those guys can really finish. Look at Jim's airplanes. They're beautiful. So we're going to get just one wipe down tonight, but I'll get 2 more wipe downs at John's, because obviously my hands are going to have oil on them between now and then. You want to make sure that you get everything super clean. I might even bring some rubber gloves from work. I spent a lot of time on the wingtips on these and all around all the corners and all the stuff that's important. This area here, the headrest back into the rudders, a nice, really nice smooth transition. All the focal points. And if you get to see it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Of course. Hang on, guys. Hello.
Hello, may I speak with Robert Soren, please?
Who's calling?
Hi, Robert. My name is Christine from Healthy Access. And Robert, you asked for information about Medicare insurance.
Hello. Take me off the list. I'm tired of phone calls from you guys. Goodbye. I got news for you guys. Don't never give out your phone number on a Medicare list. They will call and bug you to death. What a mistake that was. I must have had 500 phone calls on Medicare. What a ripoff. So that'll never happen. I might have to change my phone number just to get him to quit calling. Yep, I'm happy you get the paint. I see a little spot right there I'm not really happy with. I might have to work on that a little bit before I take that windshield off. And you can see the dust and the dirt on this baby. You know, the paint jobs come out much better when you prime them, but the difference in weight is probably 3 ounces. if I would have primed this, it would be 3 ounces heavier at this stage. So basically it was just clear dope with white tint in it and twice as much sanding. The primer lets you see where the lows are, where you can't really see that with just the clear dope and the white paint. But remember, in my finishing method, you only get 1 quart of clear. And when I say 1 quart of clear, that includes the top coat. That's half a quart of clear for the substrate and a half a quart for the top coat. And if you're using more than that, you're making the airplane heavy. So, oh, and by the way, I got, Brodax sells this stuff called Crystal Clear. Well, I haven't had much luck with Crystal Clear. Well, thank you, James. I haven't had much luck with Brodax Crystal Clear. It comes to me and it's brown. And that ain't no good. But if you go to Wix Aircraft and get the non-tautening butyrate, it's crystal clear. So we ordered a gallon the last go around, and Saturday the plan of attack will be 1/2 pint of white on the airplane. That's white, 1/2 pint unthinned. So that'll make, God, I just got no room in here. Can't move. So that'll make 3/4 of a quart thinned of the white. And that'll put my color on. And then I'll mix up a 1/2 quart of the crystal clear, which is the non-tautening butyrate, and I'll shoot 1 coat on it. Hopefully I can get that done Saturday. And then all week long I'll be taping and masking the trim. Now the reason why you want at least 1 quart of clear on it before this white is so white that it gets dirty pretty easy. So if you have any dirt on your hands, it kind of stains the paint. But if you use the clear, not only does it keep the white protected, but you can also ink, and if you happen to make a mistake, you can wipe it off without ruining the whole airplane. As you can see, I've used the 3M putty in some spots. And should be okay. I'm hoping. I guess I better wipe it off and then see. And what do we got here? Does your rudder have an airfoil or any offset? Yes, it has both. It has an airfoil and it's offset, and it also has a tail wheel in it. There's no wire back there. I think maybe that's why Bob Tucker, when he designed the Tucker Special, decided on this, unless he really liked air racers, because I mean they are pretty cool looking. And I would say that I've captured the essence of the original Tucker with this, the proportions. It's slightly different because it's slightly bigger, but I tried to keep the essence of the airplane. What's going to happen is I'm going to end up poking a hole in it or something before I get it done. I ought to go back and put all the Mega Tuckers videos into one feed, because this airplane was built at 1 hour a day, if you guys remember correctly. I started out and we decided I'd work on it 1 hour a day, and it didn't take long to frame up. It's taken a whole lot longer to finish than it did to build it, and that's basically because of situations, but at least we'll get it painted this weekend. And then I probably won't like it, because it won't be perfect enough, but whatever. See, somebody said something over here. Hey, thanks, Len. Every airplane I build, I'm never 100% satisfied with it, because you just can't get it perfect, or I can't. I mean, I don't know as if anybody can, but I guess that's that disease about being perfect. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with the inside of the cockpit yet. Been thinking, what am I gonna do? It's slightly strange, but I probably got another pilot I could make different. I wish I had one that I could put a ball cap on, but I can't, because I don't have the I'm not even sure that Williams Brothers. Do you make your landing gear blocks, or do you buy them already slotted? I make them, and I've showed that on this airplane and other airplanes. It's a 1/8" piece of aircraft ply, meaning 5 or 7 ply. Then you take your 1/8" wire and you glue it to the center of that block. Then I use 2 1/4" pieces of 1/8" thick basswood, and then fill the rest with balsa wood, and that's your landing gear block. It's about as light as you're going to make them. You could probably use light ply instead of aircraft ply, but I don't know. I just started using aircraft ply and still use aircraft. Somebody asked me for a set of my hinges. I guess I'm gonna... I've told where to buy them, but I'll send him a set. See if he likes them. Yep. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I am going to get the paint this weekend. I didn't want to bore you too much with this. It's a lot of the same thing. Sand and white, sand and white. I've used 500, 600, and 1,000 and 2,000 grit sandpaper in some spots on this. And normally I don't go down that low on sanding. I only go to 320. But because I've had so much time to work on this, I've sanded and resanded, and I've sanded my head off. Saturday at John's will be aired. It'll probably start around 10 o'clock on Saturday. We'll start painting. So set your DVR. I'll show you how I do it. And it's the same shit over and over again. Then I hope this comes out nice. Usually what happens is that I get this far and I start painting and I'm thinking, well, this ain't gonna come out, and it comes out fine. It's kind of like my little Tucker. I didn't think it was gonna come out all that great, and it came out good. I really screwed the pooch on this one. I don't know if you guys remember. I've got it glued back together, but it still ain't right. I'm not happy anymore with this airplane because it cracked. When I stepped on it, it cracked from here all the way down into the rudder back here. I mean, you can hardly tell, but it just ain't right. It's dusty. I'll probably not worry about it just because it's a classic airplane. I'll just fly it as is. If it was a Nats airplane, I'd probably repair it and finish it so you couldn't tell. I just don't have the gumption. Just build another one, I guess. Anyhow, that's about all I got. It's just a quick show, let you know what I'm doing. I haven't been on this week because, you know, I'm getting ready to paint and had to clean the apartment out because the exterminator was coming and never showed up. So I didn't get a chance to finish this out. And once I get this painted and trimmed, we'll go back to the other project. Finish sanding this up and gluing these together. Which turns into this. And these airplanes are approximately the same size. They have, you know, if you build them approximately the same size with the same numbers, they have the same flight characteristics, and I really like the way that one flies. So I'm hoping that if I can keep it light enough, it'll fly just as good. How did I step on it? Well, because this apartment's so small, I had them stacked up on the kitchen there like cordwood. This one was leaning up against the wall. That one there was leaning up against this, and I stepped on something and I heard a pow and it cracked. And I thought, oh, well, it just caught. And then when I was on one of the other shows, I went, oh, man. I didn't think I hurt it that bad, but I did. That's all right. It's only a classic, and at least it ain't my Monado. I'd be really upset if it was the Monado. This airplane here, the high roller, I'm not too concerned about. I flew that one, I guess it was 2019 when Charles was here. Or did I fly it in 20? Yeah, I flew it in 2019, and I should have flew my Junar. But I let Charles fly it. So we're going to get this one up and going, and hopefully it'll perform as good as that one. All I did was change the look of that airplane. Shape of the tips, shape of the stabilizer and rudder. And the profile some. It's the same airplane. You know, I tried to explain that about, if you look at my Nobler design video, well, here's a perfect example. USA 1 is actually, I think it's Jerry Worth's aptrix. I call it the appendix or whatever. The airplanes look the same. Billy just used different airfoil and numbers and stuff. So it's really not the same airplane, but it looks the same. Well, this is really the same airplane, but it doesn't look the same. So it's, you know, there's nothing new under the sun. They're all big Noblers. Change this, stretch that, all the same. The most important part about building is light, straight, and rigid. It has to be light, it has to be straight, and it better be rigid or else it'll fold up. And that's why I give those, I stress so much on compression spars, and because I leave weight off by skimping, where this is 3/4 of an inch instead of an inch, and these are 3/16 instead of a quarter, and the spars are 3/16 instead of quarter. You better make sure your joints fit tight. If you have a joint that's not wood to wood, that's got a gap in it that you filled with glue, that's just enough area for a stress riser for it to start working. And if it starts working, you're going to have a problem. And making everything a monocoque system is important too. When I show that I'm using superfill on the inside of the fuselage as well as the outside, that makes the fuselage become part of the wing. Not only does that add to the strength, but it adds to making it monocoque. So everything's tied together. Same with the bulkheads. The bulkhead in your airplane has to go all the way from the top of the fuselage down to the bottom. Even if you cut it so that it's only in the crutch, the top half has to be sitting on the same plane as the bottom half so that it makes a complete egg, because the strongest thing in the world is an egg in nature. Strongest thing in nature is an egg. You can't take two fingers and squash an egg end to end because of its shape. So the more oval you can make your fuselage, the stronger it's going to be with less wood. And that's what it's all about. And don't do what Wendy does. You don't need a former every 1 inch. You only need 3 formers. One at the trailing edge, one at the leading edge, and one in the center. You don't need stringers. You don't need none of that stuff. Longerons. That's all BS. It's just weight that you're carrying around. I see these airplanes are so far overbuilt. They got 1/4 inch spars on top, longerons on top and the bottom. Well, I don't know what that's all about. I used, like my Thunderbolt, they were 3/16 fuselage size. These are 3/32 fuselage size. Well, you say, well, 3/16. That's a whole lot thicker than 3/32. Yep. But it was sanded round, and then the inside was sanded out so that it became a 1/16 of an inch, but it was shaped in curvature like that. And then there was no longerons on top. The molded buck fit down perfectly on that, and I made sure that all fit together perfect, and then it was just glued on, and that's it. And then, of course, the tissue paper over the top of the seam. You'd be really surprised how strong the tissue is. This one here is all Japanese tissue. If you guys followed along, I did this, I think, over John's house. I used that high-dollar Japanese tissue when we did that tissue test. What is stronger? Medium weight, silk span, carbon veil, Japanese tissue, light silk span. Japanese tissue fared really well. Carbon veil was the worst. While it sounds cool to use carbon, it's half the strength and takes twice the dope. So I don't recommend using carbon in that situation. It's real expensive too. I think it's I don't know, I paid about $50 for a couple yards or whatever from Aerospace Composites. I got some over John's. I use it in the doublers. I use the what the heck happened to it? Oh, here it is. I use this stuff here in the doublers. This is the 0.5. I got given this, but when you glue this between two pieces of 1/8 inch balsa wood or 3/32 balsa wood, and you weight it down and you use slow set epoxy, that makes it just as strong as the plywood doublers, but you don't have the hard spot. And how to get away from that hard spot is not use dissimilar woods. Well, I've been on 45 minutes. I've about run the course. Tomorrow night I'll tape out the windshield and get it ready to go. And I think I'm gonna sand a little more right here. If I remember right, John had put a piece of tape on this spot. And oh, wait a minute. I did sand it out. That's just the clear that's coming. The clear windscreen. This is that windscreen that we did in John's kitchen, if you remember. I made the mold buck, which is around here somewhere. And we pulled 4 or 5 of these canopies on his vacuum board. So, appreciate you guys watching. Let's see, no carbon veil for me, either just soak span or a dope finish. For a dope finish. Soak span is the way to go. Double aught or triple aught, or if you can get it Jap tissue, the good stuff, like this is covered with, you can't beat it. That means you're going to kill the grain and you're going to get by with the least amount of dope as possible. I keep feeling this and I feel little spots on it. I'll be glad to get a coat of paint on this so I quit feeling these little spots. You know, I'm running my hand over this and it feels like maybe some gravel or sand or whatever in it, and you know damn well the thing is smooth, but I also know if I can feel that gravel, it'll show up big time in the finish. Sometime I'd like to do a black airplane, but black has to be absolutely perfect, or else it looks like crap. White is the easiest, black is the hardest, orange is the lightest. I haven't run across any paint job that's lighter than orange, except for gray. That's why the Thunderbolt was painted gray, to try to save on weight. But polar gray is just so drab. Yeah, I think I'll wait till I get another coat of paint on it before I keep sanding. I might end up sanding all the paint off of it. I wanted to weigh this thing to see what it weighs before paint. Of course, it has a ½ ounce of tip weight in it, so I got to deduct a ½ ounce. We got any guess on how much this airplane weighs by itself with no hardware in it, except for a ½ ounce of tip weight? Put up your guess. Wish it was lighter. $42 ounces, huh? Any other guess? No, it has wheels on it. Got a 42 ounce guess. I'll wait till we get one more guess up there and I'll reveal how much it weighs. Like I say, it does have a ½ ounce of tip weight in it. Sure, it feels heavier than what it is to me. Has no tank in it. Tank is right here. Well, I'll tell you, the airplane just itself weighs 36¼ ounces, as is. 36¼ and if you take the ½ ounce of tip weight out, that would be 35¾ without the tip weight, 35¾ so we're going to add 2 ounces Saturday. So away it goes. See, that'll fly it with no paint. I think we had it, when it was all together, it was 54 ounces, as is. So I got 4 ounces to play with. Well, the engine, muffler, tank, prop, spinner, and extension weigh 16.7. The tank weighs, with all the hoses on it, 1.75. So this is 1830. Come on. Yep. Calculator, clear. 18.3 plus, what did I say that it weighed? 35¾ 35.75. 5405 is what it weighs right now. So I have 4 ounces to play with. And anybody that knows me when I'm painting, my target weight is 58 ounces. When it gets to 58 ounces, stop painting. You know, if you add another coat on it, you went over your limit, and you ruined it. Now, I learned all this stuff from, I never paid attention to Ron too much. I wanted to just make pretty airplanes, but he was 100% right. Once you fly a light airplane, you won't go back. So I learned some of the stuff from Ron about hit your target weight, stop painting. Well, it's going to get painted all white. That's what'll add most of the weight, but the trim colors won't add any weight. 1/4 ounce maybe, because it'll be put on with an airbrush, and it'll take so very little red, orange, yellow, black paint. It'll, you know, the Dr. Pepper decal, you know, trim colors and the scallops, and that don't weigh nothing, and the ink doesn't weigh anything. So I think my Tucker Special weighs 42 ounces. Let's see. Really can't weigh this quite right, but $41.65, so 41.5 ounces. And if you look at that airplane, well, you can't. I'll have to take these outside when I get them finished and set them side by side, so you got the baby one and the big one together. But they're very similar. Alright guys, that's it for this evening. Thanks for watching. I just, you know, I know this wasn't much of a tutorial or how-to or whatever. I just was kind of giving you an update of what I'm going to do this weekend. And we'll see you over at John's, 11 o'clock on Saturday. So, till I see you then, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.